Okay, beautiful. Hello, everyone. So we're just gonna present today about emotional regulation and body safety. And I'll just quickly share my screen. Give me a minute. Mhm. Okay, let's share the screen. This one. Okay, can you see my screen? Just give me a thumbs up. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, awesome. All right, so welcome to Emotional Regulation and Body Safety. I'm Abby Spielman. So today what I thought to do is present to you this presentation, and we work through some strategies and techniques as well, and then we'll move on to Q&As if you have any questions. And to anyone who sees that later, if you have any questions, please feel free to send it via email or private message. That's completely fine. I'm happy to respond. Okay, so just a quick introduction about me. I'm a trauma therapist from Melbourne. I'm specializing in helping equestrians overcome fear, anxiety, and self-doubt. And I know firsthand how it feels to, feel anxious with butterflies in your stomach. I've experienced anxiety about 9 years ago when I went to ride my horse Benja, the one that you see in the picture. And unfortunately, I also experienced panic attacks before riding. So if you ever experience that, just so you know, you're not alone and it can happen to anyone, beginner through advanced riders. I've been riding since I was 10 years old, mainly dressage, competed as well. And I got Banjo back in 2018. I actually rode him for a year for his previous owner before I officially got him. And I remember, one day when I was settling him up, that he was standing still in the tie-up area. And, I suddenly felt my hand shaking, butterflies in my stomach. And I started to run on the spot actually to try to, you know, move it away and feel less nervous. And I tried to convince myself, just ride, just do it, you know what to do. But as soon as I sat in the saddle, I completely frozen, completely felt stuck, like complete beginner again. And I felt quite frustrated because I couldn't understand two things, like why am I feeling this after so many years around horses, about 30 years or so? And why am I nervous? My horse is literally standing still and nothing is happening. So I felt I couldn't really share these feelings with anyone because I thought people would laugh at me or misjudge me. So I decided to actually focus on Banjo and make sure that he's feeling okay because he came to me with some traumas. And as time went by, Banjo started to feel better, but I still felt quite anxious. And it really changed when I stumbled across trauma-informed therapy that truly worked for me. And it made a huge difference in my life. It helped me feeling calmer around Benja, around horses in general, but also less stress in my day-to-day life. And it made such a big impact on my life. So I decided to become a trauma therapist and help others in similar situation. And this work really taught me how to look deeper, to understand my own wounds, to finally make sense of why I'm feeling anxious. So today I thought to share how can we regain confidence in the saddle without the needing to push or force ourselves to just get on or pretend fear isn't there. And we're also going to talk about emotional regulation and practice a few simple techniques that can help us feel safe in the body. Because for me, the way I see it, true confidence doesn't come from just ignoring fear. It comes from understanding what's happening in the body, learning how to work with our nervous system, and taking steps to support our nervous system and our body. So before we dive in, I just want to talk about what trauma really is. So trauma is a subjective experience, which means that if my friend and I both fell off the horse, I could have experienced a traumatic event while she didn't experience that at all. It really depends on our past, our culture, our beliefs. And trauma isn't just about what happened, it's about how we perceived it or how we experienced that. And we can't really consciously control this. This is our body response. So let's talk about, oops, sorry. Let's talk about the nervous system. So on the first, on the right is the sympathetic nervous system. And this is our fight or flight response, which means when it's active, we might feel anxiety, panic, urgency, or even anger. And the body is actually mobilizing to protect us. And the second part, oops, sorry, I'll just go here. And the second part is the parasympathetic nervous system, which means, it's the rest and digest, but it's not just that. The polyvagal theory shows there's more layers than that. With the parasympathetic nervous system, you'll see the dorsal vagus. So when it's in high tone, this is a freeze or shutdown, feeling stuck, numb, flat, or disconnected. And when it's in low tone, this is the true rest and digest, where the body can recover and settle. And then there's the ventral vagus, which is really important. This is the state of safety, connection, and engagement. This is where we feel present, grounded, and able to connect with ourselves, with others, and with our horses. So running through all this is the vagus nerve. It's like the main highway between the brain and the body, and constantly sending messages about whether we're safe or not. And this is quite important to understand. When we're in a survival mode, like fight or flight or freeze, the thinking part of our brain goes offline, completely offline. So logic and reasoning and choice aren't fully available at that moment. So when your body reacts, it's not because you made a bad decision, it's just because your nervous system took over to keep you safe. So our goal isn't to avoid stress altogether. That's not really realistic. Our goal is to help the nervous system move out of fight or flight or shut down and spend more time in the ventral vagal safety with access to dorsal vagal, which is the rest and digest, so we can recover. And the good news is that we can influence the nervous system. And one of the easiest way to do that is through the breath. So here are two techniques that we can practice even today. So if you'd like to close your eyes and practice that, we can do it together. Just before we do that, a quick reminder that breathing doesn't really fix our trauma, but it tells the nervous system that we are safe in the moment. So it does help us to feel safe. So the first one is the box breathing, which is we inhale for 4 counts, we hold it for 4 counts, we exhale for 4 counts, and then we hold it again for another 4 counts. And the next one is with a longer exhale. So we inhale for 4, we can hold it for maybe 6 or 7 counts, and then release it slowly for 8 counts. Basically, when we exhale slowly, it tells the nervous system that threat has passed. So it really helps our body to calm down. Another beautiful technique or grounding technique is through our senses. So we can look around. So it can be either on the ground while we're riding, even, if you feel stressed at the office or anything like that, you can find 3 things in your environment and really notice the shapes, the colors, the textures, and allow yourself to be curious about it. And you might see, I see a white fence or a black bucket or a tall tree, or maybe if you're in the room, so you can see your window or a frame or a plant. So just be curious how that looks, what color and the texture it has. Then I like you to tune into those quiet sounds. So if you're out with your horse or even on the ground, maybe you can hear him breathing, or maybe the rhythm of the footsteps, or maybe the birds or slight breeze. Just allow yourself to settle on those really soft sounds. And the next one is I'd like you to feel something. So it could be if you're at home, you can feel the chair, you can feel a pillow or different objects. But if you're standing near your horse, you might feel the rope in your hands, or the horse's coat, or the mane, or even the tail, or maybe touch the saddle. If you're riding, you can notice the movement of the horse. You can feel the reins in your hands, or maybe the feet in your stirrups. I work with one lady that she said she likes to sniff the smell of the leather. That helps her settle. So that's also cool. You can try that. I love the smell of leather. And it's basically bringing your attention to the feel, to the touch. It anchors us to this present moment. So it helps to, so it supports the nervous system. These exercises help shifts our focus from the what ifs to the what is, which means it naturally calms the nervous system. And it's not about, again, ignoring fear. It's just about giving your body enough safety cues so you can ride from a place of presence and not panic. And the real secret is to bring our attention back to the body. So I'd like you to even scan your body and notice where there's tension. So maybe if you're riding, can you feel your hands holding the reins? Are they tight or are they loose? Or maybe is the tension in your shoulders? Can you slowly roll your shoulders? And allow yourself to scan the environment, and it helps even to move the neck, feel the neck up, down, side to side. It really helps the body to relax and it brings you back into your body. So noticing and being in your body helps you to be very present, which is the what is and not the what if. Once our body feels softer, what I'd like you to do and practice is to practice gratitude. Maybe look around and appreciate your horse, the animals, the nature, maybe the people in your life, and you can name what you're grateful for. And if you notice, and it happens a lot, if you notice that you're suddenly not present or your mind wandered off, just, that's okay. Just be patient with yourself. And once you notice you went away or you're not present anymore, that already makes you present. So it's just awareness when we are present and when we are not, and it's just a matter of practice. So just be kind to yourself if you notice that, you wandered away or the mind took over. That's okay. Bring yourself back to your body. So I thought to share an example from a lady that I work with. She went for a ride and, with her husband, they were riding together, everything was fine. And suddenly there was a loud noise from the neighbor's house. Her body reacted, she froze, she pulled the rein, she stopped, and she got off. The horse actually didn't do anything or wasn't scared, but afterwards she felt quite embarrassed or disappointed in herself. And she said to me, I know better than that. I know how to work around, the stress. Why did I react this way? So I told her the same thing we mentioned before, that, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just this response wasn't conscious choice. It wasn't a training. It wasn't a failure. Oops. It's basically the nervous system detected a sudden threat and responded from a survival point of view. And when we're in a survival mode, the thinking part of our brain goes offline. So it's just physiology. There's no flaw or lack of skill, and nothing is wrong with you. Just the body reacts first to keep you safe, and only later the thinking brain comes back online. So if anything like that ever happened to you, just, be compassionate with yourself, have an understanding of how your nervous system works. That helps us to be more gentle to ourselves. So far we talked about how to help the body come out from the fight, flight, or freeze. And I thought to share a few client stories who wanted to understand more about why the anxiety started in the first place. Because often the anxiety is a symptom, not the root of, it's not the root of what needs attention. So when we look a little bit deeper, we often discover there are other experiences or pattern underneath that the body is still holding on to. And this is what we do. So we take the anxiety and we go a little bit deeper. So this particular client, she approached me because she felt quite scared and stressed to ride her horses. She has beautiful horses, Arabian horses, but she felt stress and anxiety every time she thought about riding, and she actually lost her motivation and almost thought to giving up riding altogether. So we started with a breathing technique similar to what we've done before, to allow the nervous system to soften a bit. And once the body felt softer, we inquire what's behind the stress. And what came up is lack of confidence and lack of trust in the horse. And when we went even deeper, she mentioned that behind the lack of trust, there's about 30 years or so of abusive relationship, and she had to escape this controlling environment. So what happened basically that the horse brought it up because he came with his own trauma, and that sparked her old wounds to the surface. And because her ex also was a rider, the body just connected this anxiety, that controlling environment with the horses, and that caused her to feel anxious. So we processed the emotions behind it. And we're still working on it because it's such a big event. But she already noticing that she doesn't feel anxious about riding. She's actually looking forward to it. And we take it really slowly and step by step. And what we've done here is trying to show her and be curious, where is the anxiety coming from? So at the moment, she doesn't see the riding as bad experience anymore. She just see a horse as it is, like a big, gentle giant. Another rider came to me because she felt scared to ride after she fell off. And, she tried to ride with a friend who offered her help, which is great. But she was still trying to convince herself every time that she's okay. And if anything changes or the lady canceled, she actually felt quite relieved. And she told me, I'm not confident, and I just want to understand why I'm not confident, even though I'm trying so hard. So again, we started with our breathing, and we went a little deeper once the nervous system softened. And what we found out was that there's lack of confidence, and it started when she was a child, when she was in school. One of the teacher was quite a bully on her, and really, really, really strict teacher. And the teacher was so upset one day when she couldn't answer a math questions. So that really, she felt humiliated and she felt useless. And with somatic tools and with different techniques, we processed that event. We brought closure to that event, and we allowed her to process the emotions and the feeling and the beliefs behind that. And then her tension regarding writing has decreased. She obviously, there's more to it, but that was a really big event that affected her confidence, and it just connected to the horses. So once we figured that out and allowed that to complete itself, she felt much more confident riding again. And the last one is about a lady that always thinking about the what ifs. It's probably familiar because a lot of riders deal with that. But she felt that she's always anxious with the what ifs, not just for herself, also for her daughter, when her daughter competes. And she really wanted to understand why after 2 years she can't really go forward with what she wants to do. So again, we soften the body with some different techniques and breathing techniques. And what came up during the session that she's been feeling anxious since she was a young girl, actually in primary school, and she had to take care of her sister while she was still a child herself. So she didn't have any childhood. So there was a lot of emotions behind that, and she felt alone. She felt angry. She didn't know why she gets all this responsibility. And again, we processed that. We brought some safety to her inner child, brought her closure, and really understand how the body feels safe after 40 years. And from that point, she was able to start getting lessons, start to really see the horse as it is without thinking too much ahead or being in anxiety mode. So I hope that illustrates that yes, we have anxiety and we can use the different techniques, but if you feel it's a recurrent feeling or it's stopping you from doing what you love, there's probably uh, deeper reasons behind that. So it just takes time to understand what's behind the anxiety. So let's quickly recap. So when we're in a survival mode, the thinking part of our brain goes offline, and the body first trying to keep you safe, and only later the thinking part of our brain comes back online. And regulating our body is important so we can move out from the fight or flight or freeze mode and into connection and relaxation. And what helps us is our breathing and our grounding techniques. And again, I only mentioned a few today, but there's so many other techniques and also breathing techniques that can help to settle our body. So if you want to have more techniques, there is actually a PDF I created that you can download, and my website is from ridewithconfidence.com.au, and it's under free training. And it allows you to practice before you ride or while riding, and it's really powerful. So feel free to download that for free, and I'm also gonna share that in the chat. And yeah, thank you for listening. I hope it was helpful. And if you like to chat privately, you're welcome to book a call again on the ridewithconfidence.com.au. And there's a button which is a free strategy call. We can talk about what's going on with you, how long have you been feeling this, what symptoms come up, and see if I can help. Again, there's no pressure to commit to anything. It's just really stress-free phone call that we can just connect. And maybe you're not a member of my Facebook group. So if you're not, you're welcome to connect there as well, which is the Right Tribe. So I thank you again, and I hope that was helpful. And I'll just stop sharing now. Yeah. Oops. This one. Yeah, you're welcome. Again, you're muted yourself.
All good. You still recording this?
Yes.
Okay. No, I think that was very good, very thoughtful, very well presented. Thank you for that. There's a lot of
Course.
icebergs, I think.
Yeah.
We all have them, so lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
We all come from different reasons why we feel anxious. It just gives us, we feel anxious and it's very similar. The symptoms are very similar. It's just, the reason behind it are different.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. Any questions or comment? I don't know.
Not at the moment, but
Yeah.
it's really interesting how things fall into place because there's a couple of people that are working on that. I think that is really good. So we have a trainer out here. She came out for connection work and also nervous system, which I think is fantastic. So that builds right into that. I have another trainer that works in, and like you said, the first step is checking that your horse is actually also okay. So
Yeah.
that's a big part if you don't get onto a lunatic or a kite, because and then also I think you addressed that too when you once you get older, you don't have the same bounce anymore as a kid. So
Mhm.
and sometimes you just got to get to terms that you're not 16.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a really big one as well. No, I really enjoyed that. It was good. Fits
Yeah.
right into what I'm working on.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for that. Yeah, take it slow with the age, Yes, we don't bounce as we used to, but if we take it step by step and pay attention to our body and the horse's reaction, um, then there's less pressure on ourselves, which means there's fully less accidents, more communication,
Yeah.
and then it's like a big puzzle kind of click together.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I remember last time when I had to do some updating for the EA, it was all about drugs and trauma, not trauma, but what is it called? Concussion. And they said, how about we actually look at where your horse is at and bring it back to riding related, because if someone has a concussion, they don't tell you.
Mm,
And they're sometimes not aware of it. So you can't go and ask the doctor because it's private medical confidentiality, and what drugs they take is actually also not really my business, except they show up drunk, right? Or they clearly smoked something that they shouldn't.
yeah.
But in general, what I can see, if you and your horse come out of the trailer, we might have a problem.
Mm,
That's where we start. So
yeah.
yeah, I was quite amazed at some of that stuff, how they want you to cover your thing without actually looking
Yeah.
into the details. So yeah,
Mm,
good. Nice.
yeah. Yeah, it's not as straightforward sometimes.
That's right. They're not a push bike. They have emotions.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
Cool work.
thanks for that. If you find that useful and, if we can help, the equestrian world somehow to have more awareness of this, or teach coaches about that,
Yeah.
so they can help their students as well,
Yeah.
because I'll be happy to, support or advise or anything like that to support more riders.
Yeah, I think that is a really big part that as a coach, you have to learn to read not just the horse, but the
Yeah.
horse always shows up as the human. Without it, the horse wouldn't show up there. And they're both, you need to be able to read both of them. So that's a huge part. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Thank you. How are you feeling, Bridget? Hello, Ethel.
Oh, I'm a little bit overwhelmed by everything. I've always wondered what's going on with me and the horses, because it was really good to hear you talking about things which were totally unhorse related that can lead to the kind of anxiety I have when I'm around them. I sort of hadn't really put that together. I mean, I come from like your client you were talking about, I come from a very abusive background and um, a childhood that had my parents didn't get on terribly well and so on. And you've just kind of woken up some ideas um, about what's really going on.
Mhm.
Because really, the way I've always looked at it, my horse should be my quiet and gentle and happy and satisfied place to be. But often it's not. It's a source of anxiety. It's not so much when I'm with the horse, but thinking about it beforehand, before I go out and have a ride or whatever. At the moment, I'm just riding other people's horses because my horse is away with a trainer. And it's always the drive to their place. It kind of ties my tummy in knots.
Yeah.
But when I'm with the horse, it's okay. So, yeah, it's time for me to delve a bit deeper, I think.
Yeah. Good.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's interesting. You're not the only one who feel this way before arriving to the horse.
Mm,
I have a client that also had really difficult childhood that, she thought maybe she's not good enough because they just move from one place to another constantly. So, she never had friends. She never felt belonged. She never, the parents didn't support her, and friends didn't support her. So again, it's different reason, but it's maybe this part of you to say they say, oh,
Close the door just to stop all that
sorry,
outside
I'm just
noise.
gonna put
Yeah, please.
I'll mute. Yeah, sorry, I've muted you, Ethel. Yeah, so it's just very interesting to inquire what's behind that part of me that is anxious, whereas it leads to, even by, again, being curious, and you've been following me for a while, so you know that,
Yeah.
being curious about that, write down whatever comes up. There's no right or wrong. Um, you're welcome to, to chat with me more about that privately if you wish. But yeah, it's really, and then it's really about going back to that part, bring more closure to it, to see what emotions are behind that, or maybe thoughts or beliefs that the younger self, you as a younger self, thinking, and it's still there. So once
Mm.
we bring closure to that, or more safe to that part, the body can, heal or move forward. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, and then you can
Mm.
use obviously the breathing techniques to calm your body down. But yeah, there might be some parts that needs more attention. So we just need to bring
Yes.
that safety again. Yeah.
Yeah, that part that instantly says you're not good enough.
Mm.
You can't do this. You're not good enough, because that's
Yeah.
what I've been taught over
Yeah.
all the years of my marriage.
Mm.
Is that what I do is not good enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah, working through it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Again,
So,
yeah, work through that, write down. Sometimes journaling also helps.
right, I don't write things down because
Yeah.
writing, and I'm trying to teach myself to do it, because writing things down means there's evidence.
Mm.
And I learned never to write anything down. So I'm having to relearn to take that trust. I bought a pen and paper not very long ago, but I still haven't written anything. I'll get there. But
It's
yeah,
not a must. If you don't feel that is the right method for you, don't force yourself because that creates more pressure. You
yeah,
don't want to
I will
create
get there.
more. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's your choice, but it's just another techniques that we can reflect on and say, oh, I felt this way, maybe
Mm.
6 months ago. Now when I'm going to the horses, I don't feel that, or it's much less, or what, and it just kind of keeps you, yeah, it just kind of, because sometimes we forget the progress. We always like, oh, I felt anxious or I felt stress, but then we forget when we didn't feel stress. So when we're
Yeah.
journaling, we can write both actually, and and just keep, just look at that every now and then. But again, if it doesn't work for you, don't do that. That's okay. That's completely fine. It's just
Yeah.
another approach.
Yeah. Look, what you've said today is so helpful, and I'm glad that you're going to send it through, because there's a lot to remember in one go.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'll be looking at it very, very carefully.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And see
yeah,
what works with the breathing techniques. You might have tried that
yeah.
before, but even mix and match, try
Mm.
this one day, try the other one the next day.
I'll do that.
The other grounding techniques, the gratitude, yeah, different things. See what
Yep,
works for you.
yep. I've got lots of time to practice at the moment because I'm a hermit, keeping my COVID to myself and sitting in bed doing, well, not enough. So yes, I can practice breathing techniques.
Yeah,
Yes.
I I hope
Thank
you
you.
feel better.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Of
Mm.
course. How are you, Ethel, if you can hear me? I can see you. Oh, do you want to unmute yourself? Oh,
Oh, I'm currently in hospital.
oh no,
I
what?
just had carpal tunnel surgery done today.
Oh
So
no. Well, and you still joined. Wow. Yeah. Are you feeling okay?
yeah. So far, so good.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
A little bit hard to hear because I'm just on my phone, so
Yeah, that's
I can't
okay.
seem to get the speaker
Yeah,
up
that's
loud
okay.
enough.
Yeah. And you came a little bit after the presentation finished. So anyway, I'll send the recording so you can listen to that
Okay.
a
Thank
bit
you.
later. But yeah, I'm glad you joined, but yeah, I feel better.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. All right, beautiful. I think I'll leave it for today unless anyone has another question or comment. Again, if you hear this later, you're welcome to send me your questions via Messenger or email. That's completely fine. I'm happy to answer any questions, or you can contact me privately through the website as well. And yeah, appreciate your time today and thank you for joining me and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you for
you.
putting it together. It was really useful.
Thank you so much.
All right, have a good night.
Yeah, bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.